Hello, hi there. Welcome back. Today, I would like us to have a conversation about how to live in the in between, how to navigate the space between what was and what will be, the reality that we can never go back to the way things were, but also the reality that we don't know what it is that our new world is going to look like. And so, I want to share with you some thoughts, and I hope that you will share some of your thoughts with me and tell me how you are navigating in this present time, in this in between time. Okay. Now, the first thing I would like us to discuss or to talk about is how to live in the present. How to live in the present. I know that there are so many of us, me included, who have been thinking that, you know what, we should just carry our bags and go back to 2019 and see if we can't restart this year, if you will, because it seems like so much has come at us and it has come so fast that we truly do not even understand what it is that is going on. If you are like me, also, the world is moving at a pace where honestly, if I don't check my phone to know what day it is, sometimes it just gets away from me. It's like I'm thinking it's Wednesday when it's actually Friday, and those kinds of things. And they seem to be happening more often than not, which is quite funny in a way, but rather worrying in another. Okay, so how do we live in the present time? How are we finding ourselves in this reality that we are living in right now? Forget about tomorrow, forget about yesterday, today. How do I live today in a way that will help me navigate through to whatever it is that tomorrow may bring? And one of the first things that I would like to suggest to you is figuring out what it is that you began this year wanting to do. What were your intentions? What were your resolutions? What are those things that you promised yourself that at the end of the year you wanted to accomplish? Okay? Perhaps in this moment, that would be a good time to go back and figure out what it is out of your list of things you wanted to accomplish that you can find ways to do right now. I know we can't leave our homes. We are in social distance mode, quarantine mode for some, and just trying to figure out what it is that we can do for right now that may not or does not require us to be in the presence of other people. Is it a project that you had wanted to work on? Was it a book that you wanted to write? Was it a course that you wanted to take? This is the perfect time to do that thing or to stick to the plans that you had at the beginning of the year, to try and go back to trying to accomplish what it is that you had on your list, because truth be told, life is not stopped. Okay, we would like to think that life has come to a halt or a stop, but if anything, it has just come to a pause, because we still have breath in our lungs, our hearts are still beating, we still have, God willing, health and strength. And so in this moment is a perfect time to recognize that we are still alive for a reason, that there is purpose attached to our lives. And because of that, there is something that we are yet to accomplish. And we need to go back to our intentions at the beginning of the year and see what it is that we had written down, or what it is our resolutions were. What were those things that we had purpose to do, and see if we cannot get, you know, kind of back on track. We may not be able to get fully on track, but at least we can make a little headway, just make small steps that will guide us towards what it is that we wanted to accomplish, so that at the end of the year, when we look back, the whole year will not be a waste. Okay, that there will be something that we have accomplished that we had purposed to do. And the other thing is, this is a great time to do self assessment, a real in depth, honest self assessment. Okay, what are the skills that we currently have, and how can we leverage those skills in a way that is meaningful? This is also a good time to reflect on the kind of position that you have. What job do you have? What are you doing? How are you adding value to that company? The fact of the matter is, a lot of people are in jobs and positions where you just literally go to work and come back home. Go to work, and a check, come back home. Go to work, and a check, come back home, eat, sleep. That is all it is. It has become our routine, to the point where there is nothing meaningful that we're adding to the world, to the universe. And this is a perfect time to go back and assess, how is it that I am of value to the organization that I am in? Am I there just to pick a check? Because if that is your only motivation, then trust me, you are of more use elsewhere than you are there. There will be places and organizations that will value all that you bring to the table and not just parts of you. And so this would be a great time to do that kind of self-assessment. And this is also for organizations as well as it is for individuals. Because you see, for the organization, from an organization standpoint, if people are not bringing maximum value, full value to the table, then there is something that is not profitable about their existence in that organization. Because if I'm not bringing my full value there, then I'm not being productive. I'm not optimizing my productivity. And if your employees are not maximizing their productivity, then that means that there is something that is lacking. Maybe they are not in a position that utilizes all of their skill sets, or perhaps as an organization, you need to create a position that will utilize all of their skill sets. And that is one way to look at it. As an employee, what is it that you're bringing to the table? Have you communicated your abilities to your supervisor or to your organization? And perhaps this will be a great time to do that. At the very least, if the current organization is not in a position to accept or to utilize you in an optimal way, this would be a perfect time to do that job hunting, to find that position that is perfectly equipped for the skills that you have and that you bring to the table. Now, what Corona has done, or what COVID-19 has done, is that it has exposed the redundant jobs that are within us. Let us be real. I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes, but that is the reality. Corona has revealed those positions that are just there for the sake of being there. Okay? Probably someone created a position at some time or other where it was needed, but right now what Corona has demonstrated is that that position has no need. It has no value that it's adding to the organization. And this is a good time for organizations to also do their own self-assessment. What are the positions that we have? What are the job descriptions for the positions that we have? Is there a way to expand or reduce them? Do we have to reduce the number of people? Do we have to readjust what people are doing based on the skill sets that they have? What is it that as an organization you can do to ensure that each and every one of your employees is not only happy in their position, but is being maximized in their skill sets? Now, unfortunately, one of the things that organizations will do because of the economic and financial hardships that they have encountered during this pandemic, because they've been forced to shut down, is that once things open back up, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom here, I'm just trying to state facts, unfortunately, is that they are going to declare a number of positions redundant. And because of that, as an individual, once I do my self-assessment, part of that assessment is to recognize what it is the organization will be in need of, and trying to figure out how I can leverage what I have for the positions that will be available, that will be required, that will be in demand when things go back to normal. And hopefully that will be sooner rather than later. And so what am I doing in the present? Remember, we're talking about how to live in the present, how to leverage the present time so that we are in a better position to adjust or to pivot to the new normal, whatever it will be. So what am I doing as an individual? As a person, how can I increase my skill sets? How can I work on the things that bring me passion, increase my source of income so that I'm not dependent on one source of income? Those kinds of things are some of the things that we need to assess, or we need to look into, now that we have been granted the time and hopefully the mental space by the universe to be able to do this thing. So this the hours or the time that you are spending on your commute to work and from work, that would be the perfect time to learn a new skill set or think about something that you have been trying to work on for a long time. A project, perhaps a book that you've been trying to write, learning a new skill. Like if you photography has always been your thing, this is a great time to sharpen those skills. Go to the University of YouTube that is free and available to all that have internet, so that you can be able to learn whatever it is that you need to learn about the things that make you happy. So that is what I would encourage. Now, a lot is frequently said or has been said by a lot of people about how this is a time to maximize your productivity and all of that. And I just got, through sharing some ideas about that with you. But one thing I do not want to gloss over or to miss is the point of mental health and wellness. It is very important that we take care of our mental health and wellness. Now, I know within the African context, this is something that is very uncomfortable to talk about, and it's something that we do not want to talk about, if truth be told. But unfortunately, it is something that is with us. And taking care of your mental health, or saying mental health, does not mean that you are crazy. It just means that you have presence enough to take care of the one thing that takes care of your whole body, which is your mind. Okay? So if you don't take care of your mind, then there's no way that you can ever give of yourself in full capacity to anything that you put your mind to. So whether it's work, whether it's your family, whether it's your business, whatever it is that you're putting your mind to, if you have not taken the time and been intentional about how to care for your mental health, then you will not be in a position to do your best in the endeavors that are before you. So I urge you, please take care of your mental health. There is no shame in saying you need to take a break. There is no shame in saying that you need to take a rest. There is no shame in acknowledging that you need to take some time to take care of you. So take care of your mental health. Take the time to center yourself, to ground yourself, hopefully in God, but in whatever else that you do, take the time to meditate and to practice calm breathing and all those other self-care strategies that are out there for you to care for yourself and your mental health. I pray that you have been blessed by this. Please allow me to leave you with a word from Isaiah 43 and verse 19. And God says, "For I am about to do something new. See, I have already begun. Don't you see it? I will make a pathway through the wilderness. I will create rivers in the dry wasteland." God is encouraging us that there is something new that He is doing. In fact, He says He has already begun to do it. And He asks us to remember that He has promised that even in the wilderness, He can make paths. And even in the dry wastelands, He can bring rivers. He can create rivers in the dry wastelands of our lives. So right now it seems like we're in a wilderness and in our dry wastelands, literally and figuratively. But God promises that He can do something about that. He can do something about that. So be encouraged. This is not a halt on our lives. This is just but a huddle that we have to get through. And I pray that we will all spend time living in the present and navigating the space and leveraging this time so that we can be the best possible selves when we get to the other side. So be blessed. I will see you next time. Be encouraged.